was a hard weekend of football for some, a softer weekend for others.
He's moving like El Brook and Ashford wet, mate. We just suffocated them. Jorginho brought in this game.
That Liverpool midfield of Gravenberch, McAllister and Jones is not physical
It's a bit
enough.
lightweight.
It's quite lightweight. The only thing they can moan about was the celebration. I think he's done a very good job.
Yeah.
Anthony Taylor is responsible for more than 50% of Liverpool's losses.
He's hit the Enzo effect. Is Enzo just bang average? And they were screaming Jose Mourinho's name.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the BoreDraw podcast, episode number 83. It was a hard weekend of football for some, a softer weekend for others. It was a strange weekend. Lots of weird results, lots of weird clips going around on football Twitter.
I don't even know what to say, mate.
It's nice to know that Pitchside offer a helping hand to a friend in need.
Or a friend indeed.
Yeah, they that was obviously a weird thing that happened. We'll move swiftly past that.
How's no one coming for my guy? I'm calling out all of football podcast media here. How are we just letting this guy get off scot-free?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm sure when that William Saliba video got leaked, he was on it. The entire football Twitter was doing a madness.
Yeah, but William Saliba and Tom Garrett, man.
Not comparing their stature. I'm comparing the action.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Garrett's action is a mazza.
He does the handshake, just switch over.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. Very suspect things going on, but I mean, whatever, we're all for...
He's moving like El Brook and Ashford wet, mate.
Maybe that's the motive.
He's West Brom's kind of football Twitter hoe.
He's going to start an OnlyFans, right?
Yeah, come on.
Anyway, moving on to actual football that happened this weekend. We saw Arsenal take hold of Liverpool and absolutely turn them over. Yeah, I mean, it was embarrassing. If you look at it from a Liverpool perspective, they fell apart from the off. It looked like men versus boys out there.
And I don't want to gas us up too much because that could happen. But we've played them 3 times this season. 1 draw, 1 loss, 1 win. In my opinion, we're the only team to dominate Liverpool in this manner as regularly as we do.
Oh, and for me, it's simple. It's simple.
When it's Man City Liverpool, it's toe-to-toe. It could be deemed as more electric kind of Bosch hit-for-hit kind of vibe. We just nullify them. And I don't know if I think that is down to Declan Rice, Saliba and Gabriel there. That is, as a free, that is just, and I've said it so many times on the pod, that is elite. Probably the best in the league as a free. And we just suffocate teams.
I don't know, Diaz, Stones and Rodri. When you get all 3 of them on the pitch.
Just not the same, mate.
Oh, I don't know. I think that's elite 3.
But yeah, from the off, we just suffocated them. Jorginho brought in this game. I was a little bit kind of...
Starting out for a few questions.
Yeah, it did.
Jorginho,
so Jesus was out as well, injured.
Havertz leading the line.
And we'll talk about Havertz because I think he is kind of not a hidden gem because he's always under the spotlight constantly. But he is one that I think in big games we should talk about. But Jorginho, got some stats here. Most accurate passes in the game. Mm-hmm. Most passes into the final third. Most touches on the ball. Most interceptions. Second most duels won in the game. So this is a game where he's come in, hasn't played a full 90 in a hot minute. And to come into arguably Arsenal's...
First start since November.
Hardest game of the season so far, probably. And be the man of the match, I think so good from him.
For me, I think this was the ideal game for him. And for me, this is where and why Liverpool fail against Arsenal time after time. Especially, this season. The midfield battle. The midfield battle lost minute 1. Liverpool, without Endo, they had no shield for their backline. The amount of times that ball got into that sort of final third, that space between the DM and the centre-backs, and they didn't know whether to come for it or the DMs were going to drop for it. It was all over the place. And Odegaard was playing around in that pocket, and he had so much time, and he had so many... he could find those little dinky through balls to Martinelli.
Little what through balls?
Little dinky ones.
No, I'm joking.
You know what I mean?
Question.
Where you just
you say the best Liverpool sides are the ones that skip the midfield.
Oh, 100%.
So why 100%. Were they not doing that in this game?
Because you didn't play a higher line. And you got Declan Rice in that sweeper. Like
we did play a kind of a high line. As you saw for the shambolic goal that we let in, it was just a kind of ball over the top that Saliba didn't defend very well.
But from the off, Liverpool, their line was so high. That's why they caused all the confusion between Van Dijk and Alisson. Because Alisson didn't know where to come or to drop and leave it. And yeah, for me, that you got Declan Rice in there. You got the sweeper there, and that's the difference. He won't allow you to play through the channels like that. They don't have Mohamed Salah, which is a massive loss. I don't know where Cody Gakpo's best role is.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the starting.
Diego Jota is great, but Darwin Núñez probably should have started for me. He was so dangerous against Chelsea. On another day, he gets a hat-trick there. I don't know. He offers so much physicality and just chaos up front. Yeah. He's fast, and he would have given Saliba and Gabriel more something to think about. Or 100%, even Ben White out on the right-hand side.
Ben White, underrated game, and maybe I'll talk about him after, but I want to go back to Jorginho and Rice as a double pivot. I think what that brought us that we haven't had recently is we normally leave Rice to do everything by himself, and then we play like 2/8s. Here we played the double pivot where Jorginho and Rice both kind of form in a box, them two with Saliba and Gabriel behind them. And what that did, I think it was in the not to the goal. Do you know the chance where we played through the lines? No, it was for the goal. We played through the lines, and then it set Havertz through, and he missed the one-on-one.
Yeah,
went Saka. But before that, we're just passing it around the back, and we look so good because we've got that extra man in there. Jorginho, like I said, most accurate passes, most touches on the ball.
He controlled the tempo of the game.
Controlled the tempo so well,
which is what he's there to do. Like if you're asking him to play box to box, he's not going to do it.
We just always had an extra man in that position, and normally when we have that kind of left eight coming to deep to do that it works. But we kind of can't transition up the pitch as quickly because the left eight is deeper. But here, we do everything a smidge deeper. So we've got Jorginho and Rice. And then Havertz, he plays kind of like a shadow striker, false nine kind of thing. Mm-hmm. He drops deep with Odegaard. So essentially, we're playing with no striker. Leaves Konate and Van Dijk. They don't know who to mark. And we've got kind of a congestion in the midfield where we've got Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard and Havertz, all of whom are very technical on the ball. You've got Zinchenko as well when he tucks him to that side. And I think like you're saying, we just kind of congest the midfield and just congest it with technical excellence. We were just passing it around them. And then the moment that we see the space, Odegaard, I think, had one of the best games of the season.
For me, I think he was the man of the match.
I think he's so good. Since he's come back, he had like a dodgy start to the season. And then Arteta said that he had been playing with an injury. So he had a couple of weeks off. Since he's come back,
he's been really good.
Been so good. And this game,
that's Arsenal's attacking play has seen that. The merit of his ability is seen through Arsenal scoring goals now, which they were struggling to do. For me, Jorginho was unbelievable. He had time on the ball. And for me, you guys physically dominated that Liverpool midfield. That Liverpool midfield of Gravenberch, McAllister and Jones is not physical enough.
It's a bit lightweight, isn't it?
It's quite lightweight. I mean, good technical players. Curtis Jones has had a really standout season, in my opinion.
McAllister's good.
But McAllister, he's not a 6. I don't know why he's been played in the 6 constantly. It's because they don't have one.
Yeah.
They needed one so badly. He was screaming out for one in January and it never came. Yeah. I know Endo's there, but he's not a long-term option, really. I don't think he's really good enough. He had a good run in the team. And especially in that game against Arsenal where they came out 2-1 winners. But for me, there's just not enough strength in that middle part of the pitch. And I know I say it all the time, Liverpool are best going forward when they skip the transition, and they are. But if you play that offside trap perfectly, you can nullify the entire threat. The other threat comes from the directness of runners like in Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah. Salah obviously not there. Luis Diaz, he just goes left and right and then round and round. And I think he is really good. He is a really good player. Yeah. But I think sometimes he needs to look for the pass.
Yeah, for me, I think he was average until the goal. He does what Martinelli does, where he just never gives up on the ball. And that's something that you Darwin Núñez is like that as well. It's kind of one of those kind of traits that is very helpful in big games like this, where it does come down to like a moment. And we had a couple of those moments. Let's talk about the Arsenal one first, because at this moment, I thought, fuck me.
It's happening again.
It's happening again.
Yeah.
45th minute, we dominated Liverpool. didn't have a shot on target all half. I don't think they had a shot all half. And we were all over them. Such the better team going at 1-1 because a stupid ball over the top. Saliba, I saw, who was it? Gael Clichy. He was actually really good on the punditry. I'd like to see more kind of ex-footballers that aren't Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. That'd be nice. Because Gael Clichy was saying that one of the issues that Konate, Van Dijk and Saliba were all having that game is that they didn't... So, like, say a big ball would go over the top. They wouldn't go for the header. They'd try and kind of control the ball when it came on the floor or let it bounce once. And the moment you let it bounce, the attacker, his kind of opportunity to get something out of that ball increases massively. So you see that with Van Dijk and Konate for their mistakes. But in this one, Saliba lets the ball bounce. Luis Diaz kind of muscles him over and goes round him. And then Saliba gets back in front of him and tries to shield the ball back to Raya. Luis Diaz comes in, nicks the ball, taps it home, bounces it off Gabriel for an own goal.
Yeah.
Shambles.
Harsh on Gabriel, though.
Harsh on Gabriel because he was so good that game. Saliba, for me, it's Saliba's fault. He's got to deal with that because I think the ball is still too far away from Raya for him to come out and collect it.
There was a lot of defensive calamities in this game.
And then the next one, the Van Dijk one.
Before even that, I think the Konate booking.
Oh, well, yeah.
That was after the Van Dijk.
The second booking, yeah.
No, the first booking, 55 minutes in.
Yeah, where he gets caught on the halfway line.
I think it's harsh on him.
It is harsh,
because
but it's like what I was saying. If he goes in and wins that header first time,
I understand
doesn't happen, but he lets Havertz control the ball.
I understand why they've given it as a yellow. I think there was shouts for a red straight away because he's last man.
Yeah.
But Havertz is leaning into him. He's got his arm around Havertz. They're both grappling each other. I think if Havertz was away from him and he's pulling him, that's one thing. But he's actually behind Havertz.
Yeah. I think it's a yellow because he's the last man.
I don't know. But I think even if it drops, Havertz is the one on the floor. Like, Havertz like falls to the ground. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I do think it's harsh.
Well, I think that's what Havertz does well.
It's not enough for me to change the game.
In these big games.
They made individual mistakes here. I think Trent was another victim of a Martinelli showdown.
Mate.
The defensive side wasn't there. Conor Bradley's dad, RIP, like, that is such a terrible timing.
Yeah.
That's another thing we forgot to mention.
I wonder if Conor Bradley would have started.
I think he might have, because Trent didn't look fit to me.
Because Trent got cooked.
He did not look. He looked about 60% fit.
Mate, Martinelli. Oh, do you see that run where he set it up for Saka and Saka missed, but where he had Konate on burners, mate. Konate isn't slow.
No, he's not. But
Martinelli with the ball, speed demon, mate.
Let's
crazy.
Is there anything more to say, really? Alisson and Van Dijk made bad and mistake for theirs.
That's what I'm saying. Martinelli got the dog in him. He will run for a ball that
maybe was it his best game this season?
One of the best games of the season. I thought he was so good. And then Arteta's in-game management as well. I think a lot of eyebrows were raised when you took Martinelli off and brought Trossard on, but Trossard scores. And what Trossard does is his game management is so good.
IQ is off the charts.
IQ is off the charts. And I just want to kind of round it all up by saying Arsenal had 3.76 XG, and that is the most XG Liverpool ever conceded in the Premier League. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, it was a dominant performance, and I think that...
So why are pundits like Neville and Carragher so set on saying this Arsenal team are immature? Why are they taking photos? Rather than giving my boys the credit they deserve.
No, they should be allowed to celebrate. I don't really care about the over-celebration thing.
No, neither do I. I think if you can't celebrate beating title rivals, what are you allowed to celebrate? Are you just not allowed to celebrate all season until you win the league? Because then we just only watch Man City celebrations over and over again.
What we're looking for, and maybe it's easier for me from an outsider's perspective, but I want to see Arsenal, instead of reacting like this is a massive thing, to be like, this is business as usual. Just get, like, Man City, would they have celebrated like that, do you think?
But this isn't business. This isn't business as usual for us. We're not Man City.
If you want that to become the norm, perhaps you need to treat it like it's the norm.
But we're not Man City.
If every game like that turns out to be, like, becomes like a cup final for you, then it makes it difficult because you're playing in your mind in like a cup final.
Yeah, I get that. But, like, we do the business. We haven't done this before. This group of players, the Man City lot have done it 5 times in a row. Like, that is business as usual for
Yeah,
them.
but they got new players in there. They got young players in there.
Barely. It's just
I think perhaps
we
that's
are.
I mean, this is I don't know. Maybe that's what they're looking for, is that they want to play a bit of devil's advocate.
Yeah, all I'm saying is fuck all them man that are
And
haters.
I mean, maybe the benefit to take from this is if they could, the only thing they could moan about was the celebration. I think you've done a very good job.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
you, Carrot.
But yeah, for me, how does this impact the title fight? I think it means nothing. I think Man City are going to go on an unbeaten run to the end of the season.
That's what I said that on Twitter. Yeah.
What are there, like? How many games are left?
I don't know. So
Like
this was
16,
game week.
17 games, something maybe.
Yeah.
I could see Arsenal and Liverpool both dropping between 4 and 6 points in that time. I don't
drop more. Yeah.
I don't see Man City dropping any. I think they're going to come and they're going to smash everyone.
Wow, that could go down like a box of spanners if they lose to Brentford tonight.
Mate, even if they lose to Brentford tonight, I think they still win the league.
Yeah, well, I tweeted this after the game. I was like,
You've got to play them again.
I saw a tweet where it was like, yeah,
You've got to play Liverpool.
at the Etihad.
I think if Liverpool don't have...
If we want to win the league, we've got to go to the Etihad and beat them. Minimum.
I mean,
But,
if they win their game in hand, they're 2 points behind Liverpool.
Yeah.
And what are you, 2 points behind Liverpool?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're 1 point behind them.
No, they're 2 points as well, but they've got another game in hand. They've got 2 games in hand.
So they can go ahead of top of
Yeah,
Liverpool.
they can go top of the league.
Oh, mate, yeah, it's over.
Yeah, well, someone tweeted it was like, how does that affect the title race? And I was like, it doesn't. Man City is still in Man City's hands. No one in the Premier League, probably history ever, does a kind of February to May run in like Man City.
Yeah.
They just pick up points like it's nothing.
I mean, they've got the depth.
It's scary.
Like you say, your only hope is really that they have a hard time in the Champions League and have to put a lot of men out on the pitch.
Don't wish injuries upon anyone, but it'd be nice if De Bruyne dip back off again because he's come back on fire.
Yeah, he looks like Superman.
And Haaland's back tonight as well,
Don't
allegedly.
say
So that could be scary for the Mandem.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be scary for everyone coming up to the end of the season, but we're here for it. At least it's not a 10-point gap. At least there's a few teams in it.
It's
And
exciting, baby.
You never know. We might be seeing pure Barclays here live in the flesh. Let's move on to team who have absolutely zilch to celebrate. Oh, no. Before we move on from Liverpool.
Love this.
Mad stat. I don't know how true this is. I saw it on Twitter.
So it's true.
So it has to be true, right?
Unless he's got one of those community note things. Shout out the community notes, man.
I think his name is @Origi Lister. He says Klopp has 81 losses in his Liverpool career. That's 468 games.
Yeah.
57 of those 81 losses have come when the referee was bald.
We've always said on BoreDraw there is a weird correlation to VAR and refereeing mishaps
I'll put the
and
post
the
up
lack
on
of
the screen
hair.
for you. But 40 of those 57 losses when the referee's been bald was when Anthony Taylor was the referee. So in essence, whenever Liverpool lose, the probability is Anthony Taylor being the referee is 70%.
That is wild.
And then if you look further into the statistics, Anthony Taylor is responsible for more than 50% of Liverpool's losses. So that's a crazy stat.
Klopp did come
if
out
it's true,
and
if it's true, I
say
haven't been able to verify
post-match, he was like, I don't know if this referee has something against me, because I think Anthony Taylor sent him off at some other point in the season, and so Klopp's got beef with Anthony Taylor. It'd be what it be.
Nuts. Right, moving on swiftly. Chelsea 2, Gary O'Neill's mighty Wolverhampton Wanderers 4. It was the Mateus Cunha show.
What a guy. I think, I can't remember if it was this season or last season when we said Wolves need a striker. Mateus Cunha might not be the guy. I think he is the
He's
guy.
doing well.
He's
on
good.
form.
He's good.
on form.
And I think Gary O'Neill, I think he wasn't the guy, Cunha, when they were playing under Lopetegui, and I think he was kind of shoved out to left wing / left mid. Gary O'Neill is playing like this top two of Neto and Cunha. I don't know if that will continue
Technical excellence.
when Hwang's back. Maybe they'll rotate as a free.
Well, they used to sit behind Hwang, didn't they?
But Cunha and Neto up top, mate, that is techie.
Yeah, and Hwang, I think, just progressed with South Korea to the semi-finals of the Asian Cup.
Yeah.
I think him and Son got on the score sheet against Australia.
Shout out them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wolves, I think they just look so good. They had a unlucky loss against Man United midweek where Kobbie Mainoo scored a 97th minute winner to make it 4-3 after they got back from 3-0 down, which is crazy.
The best part of this Wolves team is the fight. And they look like a unit, and they look like they're playing for the manager. The manager is so happy to be
Yeah,
there.
he's
shout out
he's
Gary
invested.
O'Neill, giving QPR Joe Hodge on a free loan, but he's paying 100% of his wages. Comes in,
Charity work.
he was on the bench versus Man United. I think he came on the pitch,
And now he's playing.
and then overnight drove to QPR, signed, and then the next day scored against Blackburn. 7 minutes into his debut.
What a day.
Gary O'Neill's managing 2 clubs here.
Come on. But yeah, Wolves, they just look so good. And I was worried about them because of the fact that they lost Moutinho and Ruben Neves in the midfield. And I was thinking, not only can they not score goals, but their midfield was their best aspect, and they've lost the kind of 2 biggest playmakers in the team. But Gomez in the middle and Lamina. It's a nice little midfield. I didn't think much of the Lamina signing.
I mean,
but
Nelson
good.
Semedo and Ray Nori.
Good as well. Yeah, nice.
Let's talk about Chelsea.
Fuck them, man. I'm sick of talking about Chelsea.
So funny.
They're so bad. They're 11th in the league, and we're in February. They have 9 wins and 10 losses.
They're 1 point worse off this season than they were under Graham Potter last season.
And Graham Potter had no window. He got dropped in the job like Gary O'Neill. Pochettino's had the window. He's had £1 billion. He's put together the most expensive midfield in Premier League history. And their best midfielder would still be Jorginho if they had him.
Oh, mate, honestly, it's so poor.
Crazy.
I mean, Conor Gallagher, I think, has been a decent player for them this season. But how are you starting with Conor Gallagher as your number 10?
Yeah,
I know
he's not
him and
creative
Palmer,
like
play
that.
They play a box with Enzo, Caicedo, and then Palmer, Gallagher.
Yeah.
But how is that your what?
Yeah, for me, Caicedo, he's had a couple of stinkers. He got the assist for the Palmer goal, which was a good assist. But for me, he looks kind of out of his depth at this level. And I know this level is lower than the level he was playing for Brighton.
I think he's been asked to do too much. But under De Zerbi, I think he was doing more.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. Is it the Enzo effect? Is Enzo just bang average?
He was so poor against Liverpool.
So bad, and now they're in this situation where they've spent 100 mil on these 2 guys. They can't not play them.
No, they have to.
They're on 10-year contracts.
I mean, but then also, who do they have on the bench?
Carney Chukwuemeka.
Yeah.
They brought that Casady back from Leicester.
Yeah, but he's
They got Romeo Lavia. Is he back?
he's not on the bench.
I don't know. It stinks.
I mean, but how do you spend a billy and your bench consists of Badiashile, who's washed, he's trash. Mudryk, who I think is
trash.
Time to go back home. Madueke, Academy, no?
No, Madueke they signed from PSV or wherever they fucking signed him from.
Bettinelli.
Keeper, yeah.
Nicholas Jackson.
Cheese! Astrid Wett's bumboy.
Carney Chukwuemeka.
Decent
He's
player,
alright. I don't mind him at all. Casade, Gilchrist and Bergstrom.
Yeah, dead. What they got to do is
clean house.
But can they? So I see in tweets where they can't even sack Pochettino because apparently sacking him and his staff will cost 10 mil. And if they do that, now the window's shut, they'll go over FFP
because they can't flog the players,
which is mental.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're stuck with him. What do they do? Luke, talk to me.
They've got to get him to retire.
Who barge? I don't understand what's going so wrong because, and we talk about Poch being a bit of a nearly man. Like he was all right at Spurs, but nearly man. He was all right at PSG, but nearly man. I think coming in and doing this project, it was fine because he's good at doing the kind of
the project work,
the getting to the nearly bit and then flopping. So he was, in theory, like Graham Potter, the right guy to do the project part. Why can't he do the project part?
I mean, Chelsea are that forever conundrum where it's just like, how is it not working? But it's not working because they've got a manager who doesn't even know all his players. They've got so many players that the manager doesn't know all the players. They've got you never know who you're going to be lining up with next week.
Yeah,
they've had a bit of consistency in their starting 11. I know Nkunku was injured for a fair bit, and he's been quite good since he's been back. But like, there's just so much going wrong. Like, how is your most consistent player over the last like 3 seasons being 55-year-old Thiago Silva?
Facts.
His wife came
and
out.
his
on
wife
Twitter,
came out. Yeah,
beefing
mad.
Poch, said it's time for a change. It's gone from bad to worse.
It's
to
so
detrimental
toxic.
for Toppoli. Like, he's had to step back, I think, from it.
Yeah, he's hired another Todd Don.
And it's poor. I think they got rid of Petr Cech as like the player liaison. So they lost what made Chelsea. Like, we were talking about this the other night in the Liverpool stream. They've lost that grit. They haven't got those players like the Terrys, the Carvalhos, the Ivanovic. You know, they had
bastards.
They had horrible players. Even Petr Cech in goal. David Luiz.
I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, the
Eden
soft
Hazard.
underbelly that people used to label at Arsenal. Chelsea have got it.
Oh, mate.
The players
time.
are soft, mate. You see,
Drogba, mate.
they lose.
Florent Malouda.
They concede and then they start getting peppered. They got some soft boys in that lineup.
Mate, they need to get Victor Moses back. See what he's
Come
doing.
on. And talking of toxic, I'm seeing screams. I think the Chelsea fans at the full time were screaming Roman Abramovich's name and they were screaming Jose Mourinho's name.
Yeah,
These Chelsea fans, I talk about the club being toxic. The Chelsea fans are just as toxic, mate. How can you want Jose back? I know it's funny. I want Jose back for the memes and
the pure Barclays.
The pure Barclays. But any Chelsea fan with semi brain screwed on, no, he's too toxic to be anywhere near that club. But who is the guy then? If Poch,
I mean,
Poch
wasn't the guy. Well, he isn't the guy. Potter, we all thought was the guy. Tuchel was the only guy who showed a bit of promise.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Tuchel as well. I saw some dickhead on Twitter. This is less Chelsea, more Wolves, beefing Gary O'Neill. So I took a personal offence because Gary O'Neill's our guy. They said, I don't know why Gary O'Neill's getting so much credit. He's basically just inherited Lopetegui's team.
Yeah, but look where Lopetegui finished.
And I was like, that makes no sense because then, like, you giving Tuchel no credit. It should be all Frank Lampard's credit for Chelsea winning the Champions League because Tuchel just inherited Frank Lampard's Chelsea team.
Yeah, so Lopetegui put this team together and it made it finish like 19th.
So if you inherit a team that's doing shit, sign no one, and then make the team do really good, you're allowed no credit because it was the previous guys. I should have quote tweeted and mugged it off.
That's nuts.
So mad. But anyway, yeah, back to Chelsea. Jose's too toxic, but who do they get him?
It's got to be Jose. It's got to be. I genuinely don't know who would want to come to that club.
Yeah.
It's got to be someone who loves the club.
And someone the fans love.
And there's no one.
Yeah.
They need a quick fix.
Yeah.
They need some sort of... He will
even just till the end of the season.
He will get you the right results.
Mm.
They might not see any progress, but it can't be worse than it is.
That's facts.
It can't be worse than it is. At least I have a little bit of something about them because they would not be allowed to go out on the pitch and perform like that.
That's true.
He would clean house. If you don't want to be there, he'd get rid of you. Like, no doing this celebration anymore, mate.
Although he is actually the only good player.
He's the only good player,
yeah.
But like, I mean, you look at their is it their lineup cards where they're like doing this? And
oh mate, yeah.
Oh,
you got Noni Madueke doing this.
Oh mate,
like,
you're hiding on the pitch as well, mate.
Oh mate, I could have Chelsea on burners all day. I fucking hate
so
that club.
Poor. I mean, but the question is like, who is out there that would be brave enough to take this on?
Yeah, because they apparently want Xabi Alonso, but if Xabi Alonso has any sense, he says no because his managerial stock right now is so high. If he goes to Chelsea, he will murder his managerial stock. He needs to wait and see if Liverpool do that move for him. Bielsa.
He's not. I think
did Carlo sign a new deal at Real Madrid? Did I make that?
Yeah.
So I was going to say maybe Carlo, but
no. But maybe Bielsa, but I think he's managing out in France.
Antonio Conte is currently a free agent.
That's even worse than Jose.
That's pure toxicity, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chelsea fans, in the comments, let us know. Do you want Jose back?
Yeah, I genuinely who?
No, I don't know.
Right.
Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard and John Terry.
Give it Frank.
Management.
Yeah, come on.
All right, I want to do a little around the world. Shout out to Neil Warnock.
Aberdeen.
Signed for Aberdeen.
Shout out JJ Ball as well.
Yeah, shout out JJ Ball. Big Aberdeen fan. Yeah, I mean...
Like
Warnock,
seeing him, yeah.
I think I was looking at a thing earlier. He said in 2007, he said he thinks he's got one more job left in him.
That was like me.
That's 17 years later.
Down the pub when it's 11 p.m. and I think I've got one more pint in me.
Yeah.
And then 4 a.m. comes around.
I think he said in an interview, his opening interview with Aberdeen, he told his wife Sharon, and she went, Aberdeen? But yeah, no, Aberdeen, what a club as well.
Yeah,
they've had some
they got
really good managers.
Draw against Celtic on the weekend.
Yeah, really good managers. I think they've had some quite tactically astute managers. Scott McKenna was there, the centre back from Nottingham Forest. He's a good player. Yeah, what a nice little story. I like to see Neil Warnock.
Yeah, no, we like
and
Neil
to see him
Warnock.
outside of the UK is outside of England is it's nice.
What else is going on around the world?
This is a madness. All right, I might butcher some names here, but there is a man.
There is a man
from Mongolia. Not just a man, he's a footballer. Mongolian footballer, Ochiru Batbold, is cycling from Ulaanbaatar to Manchester to see his beloved Manchester United play.
Come on.
After 9 months on the road and 12,500 kilometres covered, he stops off in Vienna and accompanied the Sweeper Pod. Shout out to Sweeper Pod. They do some absolutely brilliant stuff on like hidden stories around the footballing world. Like I think one of them's in like Mauritius at the minute, covering like the football league there.
Shout that
some
out.
Brilliant stuff. But yeah, they accompanied the Sweeper Pod to Rapid Vienna's cup tie against St. Pölten on the 4th. So yeah, that was good. And yeah, he's travelling through Austria, Germany, France, and into England. Yeah, so if you want to just follow his little story, drop Mr. Wazza, Mr.Wazza, Wazza on Instagram. It's an outrageous story.
Come on, we love to see it.
And hopefully the club do something about it.
That's what I was going to say. He's going to end up at Man United like Sean Millis did. Or what was his name? Sean Mills?
Yeah.
He was at the game.
So Holland get a assist and a goal.
Yeah, so Oyland, we'll talk about Man United now, 4-4.
Are they finding a little bit of form? Because
They
they
are.
actually looked a lot better.
So against Wolves, they looked so good until the last 20 where they shat the bed. And I think that isn't you don't need to read too much into that. I think everybody knows this Man United team aren't the finished article and they're going to shit the bed every now and then.
Yeah.
So I think it wasn't kind of as big news that they shat the bed against Wolves. And they also had the kind of steel and grit to come and win that game anyway. Shout out Kobe Mainu, what a goal. I tweeted after that game, someone asked on Twitter, it was like, is Man United finding a run of form? And I was like, it's classic Man United to do that kind of big event where they beat Wolves last minute and then shit the bed against West Ham. They actually didn't.
They done really well.
To beat West Ham 3-0.
Convincingly.
We
said Man United haven't really dominated games since the beginning of the season. This one,
they were good.
Yeah, they were very good.
And yeah, they are starting. I think what Ten Hag is doing is finally he's found his best team. He's sacked off Anthony. He's playing Garnacho out at right wing. Garnacho is so much better, not only than Anthony, but probably the best winger option they've got at the club at the moment. 2 goals.
Yeah.
He's so direct, so hungry, which I guess you get. We said this. There's a different kind of hunger when you're a kid from the academy of a club. And yeah, shout out Garnacho. Rashford come back from his kind of turn on the naughty step. He was good. And then, yeah, Højlund, they're kind of... I said this when his first appearance, when he came against Arsenal, and he didn't do much, but his hold-up play and his link-up play was really good. And now he started to have confidence to take shots from deep. His goal was really good. He got the ball edge of the box, turned as centre-back, and then calm finish from the edge of the box. They're starting to find a bit of form. Kobe Mainu and Casemiro as centre mids. It's nice. Bruno Fernandes is in a bit of a... Well, he's always good, but I think when things are bad, he's angry, but when things are good...
He doesn't stand up. He's not composed enough.
He is one of the best players when your team are doing well, because he will just punish teams.
Second most creative player in the
league.
But
anytime there's adversity for Man United... You don't want him in the team at all because
he gets his back up about it.
He is just a little whiny bitch. But on a good run, he's the first name on team sheet every time because he is the kind of difference maker. Man United, really good. I can't remember who they've got next game. I'll have a look for you. But yeah.
West Ham, I think, missing Paquetá. That's big miss. But they're pretty much their full 11 out there. They had Bowen, they had Kudus.
They had Aguerd back as well.
Aguerd, yeah. They had Souček and Alvarez in the middle. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but they're
No.
so hit and miss, West Ham. I mean, they had a really good run.
They got Aston Villa on the weekend. Aston Villa who piped Sheffield United 5-0.
Yeah,
That'll be a good game.
It was like 5-0 before half time, or 4-0 before
We were
half time.
expecting a banger.
Yeah, we were
No, they
expecting.
did that second half,
Has
but-
the 9-0 been mentioned? It was.
But yeah, Man United, nice little run of form, 2 wins in a row. West Ham, they've got Arsenal on the
You know what Man
weekend,
United are
so
gonna do?
bloody hope they keep that shit run of form
Man
going.
United are gonna go on a winning streak until that man arrives on his bicycle, and then they're gonna get pumped like 4-0.
Yeah, just for the boy.
Yeah, by Luton.
Come on, they actually do have Luton after Aston Villa.
Also, quickly, who's your manager of the season so far?
my manager of the season right now is Rob Edwards.
Yeah, I agree. I think other names up there for me, Gary O'Neill, obviously.
Unai Emery.
Unai Emery, definitely. Anyone else?
Maybe Ange.
Oh, yeah, maybe Ange.
And that's me taking off my rose-tinted Arsenal goggles and being like, he's doing all right. Although, 2 on the weekend against Everton. What's going on there?
Yeah. But yeah, for me, I mean, Richarlison, though.
Yeah, it's hard to argue about Richarlison's form. He's since a groin operation, mate. Maybe he got one of the special groin operations from Tom Garrett. Jeez. But yeah, I think for me, Rob Edwards, manager of the season
That's
so far.
ridiculous
Like
what he's doing so far.
I think in their last 7, they've got 1 loss.
I mean,
Which
it
for
was
little old Luton, who everybody had written off bottom of the table, worst Premier League
I
team
said
ever,
that they would get less points in Derby.
which is mental. I backed them, and we're from Watford, so shouldn't have been allowed to do that, but I did.
But yeah, no, it's nuts. And yeah, how good was the football to have been to cover the fact that we haven't even spoken about the 4-4 game versus Newcastle.
Facts.
That's how good the weekend of football has been.
Maybe next episode, or not next episode, but at some point soon, we promise, we'll do a bit on Luton, Sheffield United and Burnley.
If you run a Luton fan channel or podcast or whatever you want to come on, shout us, hit us up in our DMs, and we'd love to make something happen because
Come on, we want to give Luton
we'd
some
love
love.
to cover your story because you're absolutely flying.
Yeah, we got to give Luton some love.
Let's round it up. Anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. If you comment down below, we will highlight it in the next video. Give us some questions. We'll answer them. Some things to talk about. And yeah, we'll give you a shout in the video because we want to get our comments up.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a little bit. We'll always reply to you in the comments if you comment down below. So yeah, get involved.
We do.
And if you do comment, you'll be putting yourself in with a chance of winning a £100 classic football shirts voucher. Spend on anything you like. So let us know down below what you would spend that voucher on. Anything to add?
No, you bloody nailed it, mate. Follow us on socials. I'm tweeting on our Twitter non-stop. I'm looking for beef. So, if you want to come and beef me, drop on our Twitter. It's bore.draw, I believe. And yeah, I'm
Everything
happy.
down below.
Come on.
But yeah, if you want to head over to our Spotify, give us 5 stars. It'd be much appreciated. It helps us get seen. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been BoreDraw, episode number 83. And
Come on, boys!
yours.